Hello, this is Glenn Hughes, and you're listening to the Paulie Z Show.
Yo, yo, yo. You're listening to the Paulie Z Show, and we are on episode 13, and for most people, 13 is sort of an unlucky number, but I gotta tell you, 13 for me is a lucky number. I can't tell you why. It's a secret. I'm gonna keep that to myself, but it is a lucky number for me. So I eventually will buy a nice penthouse in New York City on the 13th floor.
Penthouse 13, by the way.
Yes, penthouse 13 on the 13th floor, and well, the person who's talking right now is my guest for this episode. This is part 3 of my 3-part LA series.
Oh, I love it.
Yes, so you know this is the Brooklyn boy in LA representing the East Coast, and today we have Glenn Hughes.
I love
Did I say you? Is it Hughes or Hughes?
Well, I say Hughes.
It is
Lost
Hughes.
in Howard Hughes.
Hughes.
But
Did
you
it
know,
curb your enthusiasm? Fuck Hughes.
You know, exactly. But no, it all depends, you know. If I'm with Brits, I start going, oh, crikey. Touch me my brown trousers. I go
Do you
all,
really
I go
talk
all,
like that?
I go all Brit.
Oh
But
my
when it's-
God.
And when I go down to Texas, I talk like this.
When I met
I
you,
go
though,
all like that down there.
he's not kidding, because I gotta tell you, I met him at NAMM. It was at the Sabian after party, and I guess I was there because Mike Portnoy is a good buddy, and he got us in. And I meet him, and I'm like, hey, my name is Paul, and I'm a huge fan. So I'm like, my name is Paulie from Brooklyn, and he all of a sudden
Come
starts going,
over here.
hey, yes, hey, yo, Paulie.
over here.
I'm like, is he serious?
No, I
I
love
didn't know
it.
what was going on. Yeah, you caught me off
I
guard.
love the tri-state. I love New York, and you know, I just love it.
Well, I'm glad
Love
you
New
do.
Yorkers.
But you never really been to Brooklyn, right? Like hung
The
out.
last time I was in Brooklyn with the great guitar player Ray Gomez at his house in 1980.
1980.
Yeah,
I was just learning how to read.
I know. Rub it in. Go on.
No, come on. I would trade with you in a heartbeat. Are you kidding me?
Richie Blackmore would never stay on the 13th floor. Never stay in like room 13 or 139 or 260. He was fully against the. And he's the guy that's like into the black magic and the witches and the goblins and the. and
Right,
the
I
men
would
in
think he would like
Blackadder.
it.
And he's the guy like, you know, that ran away from us in the seances, but he would never stay in anything to do with 13. Flight number 13, never going to get
Wouldn't
it.
take it.
No.
But see, what's funny about me is, and this is maybe just the Jew in me coming out, but I'd be like, well, no one's staying in room 13, so I'll probably get a discount.
Right.
It's like, well, I want to buy the apartment on the 13th floor,
Right.
but I'll only pay you half. It's like, no. I was like, all right, good luck selling that.
I'm with you.
Yeah. So, well, okay. Well, let me explain to our listeners who Glenn Hughes is, for those who may not know or know as much, because you know a lot of people know you from Deep Purple. I'm sure you get that all the time. It's like Glenn Hughes is in Deep Purple.
Yep.
But the thing is, they don't. A lot of people don't. If they do their research, they know that, you know, before that you were in a very successful band called Trapeze.
I was, yeah.
Yes, with Medusa.
I love that song.
Love that song. And then was it Trapeze to Deep Purple, and then
Correct.
right, and then you've done Used
Thrall.
Used Thrall and Jolyn Turner you've worked with, and then
Yeah.
a series of solo records that
That's the main
just-
focus for me after,
Yeah.
you know, I think Hughes Thrall and I did, of course, you know, I think with Tony Iommi and Seventh Star in Black
Yes,
Sabbath
I
for a
have that.
minute there.
And another one, right? Did
I
you
did.
do
I've
recently?
done 3. I've done the
Iommi.
DEP sessions, which were demos, which
Okay.
were leaked, not by us, but somebody got it. And then we did the album on Sanctuary called Fused in 2005.
That's the one I'm talking about, right?
Which was a mega album, but wasn't promoted, and we believe the album coulda, woulda, shoulda been a major thing for us, and hopefully we'll get that it'll be out again, I imagine, the next couple of years.
Well, here's the funny thing. I knew, you know, I knew you from Deep Purple. You know, I was like, okay, I love Burn and that stuff. And I was like, okay, Glenn Hughes, you know, yeah, he was that guy. And then one day I was listening to, it was an Alice Cooper
Oh my God,
tribute.
you mentioned that.
I did, right. So I forgot. It was something, something
Oh,
tribute to my
Only
nightmare.
Women Bleed.
You sang "Only Women Bleed" was the last track. Now usually these tribute CDs are, you know, pretty crappy.
Yeah, I don't like to do those
They're
things.
not. Yeah, we've been approached to do them a lot, and you know, and we usually kind of shy away because the production's always bad. Or whatever.
Ah.
I got to tell you something. I heard that
I haven't
song.
heard it. I
Oh,
mean,
you gotta.
I was with Alice last week and I never brought it up. I think he may have heard it, but I don't know. The producer had me like just do a Glenn Hughes. I don't know what the hell I did.
Well, it
on
was
it.
like it was just sort of Glenn Hughesy. I mean,
Was it?
Hughesy. It was like very R&B-ish. You know, it was like
Okay.
only Wembley.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's about the money and whatever. That. How do you describe it? I mean, it's like a Stevie Wonder meets, you know, Paul Rogers
Isn't
meets
it? Isn't this
Ian
cool?
Gillan meets. I don't know how you describe
David
it.
Bowie said to me years and years ago, because I was really good friends with Stevie Wonder, and I was going to record with Stevie or do a Stevie Wonder song. He said, no. This is so obvious. Why don't you just cut something, like a country song and make it your own?
Right.
So I've always tried to, since then, I had a big hit back in the UK with a techno band called KLF. It was a number one song. So I always like to do, like maybe something with an opera singer or an ice skater, anything other than the obvious.
Right.
And I think, when the producer had me sing more Glenn on the Alice song, I think it may have worked. Although I
Oh,
never
it was
listen to
great.
the stuff I do on record, I never really listen back to it.
Oh, I'm the exact opposite. That's all I listen to. I'm in the car with my friends, and I'm like, "Hey, let's listen to some music." And it's ZO2, and they're like, again? I'm
Oh
like,
my
"Yeah,
God.
man." I don't
Look,
know.
Paulie, I've been very blessed to have this voice, and I just look at it that I'm so happy in my life, and that I have this thing in this throat, this voice thing, that I'm so humble to have it and grateful to have it, and it's just an amazing gift,
But
Really
why?
is.
What is it about? Why wouldn't you listen to it? Like when
I
actors say they don't see
kid
their own
myself
movies.
when I've done let's just say when I'm making my own records and I'm mastering them and mixing them, I obviously listen to them all the time. But when I've actually cut a record and I've done mastering it, I may listen to it once in the car, then I'm on to the next thing. I just don't. Some artists may bathe in their own music, and oh God, I'm not one of those guys to sit there yawping about myself. I'm on to the next thing.
Okay.
It's something I've always done.
So it's not that, because some people sometimes say I can't listen to my own voice or I can't see myself acting. So it's not something where
No.
you can't.
I'm proud of my work.
Okay, it's just
There's a couple of things I'm not proud of, but I'm such a workaholic, and I don't have to do things like tribute things anymore or whatever or blah blah blah. I just don't want to do that anymore. But I can choose what I want to do now. So I'm sort of very much into what I'm doing at that moment.
Well, I gotta say, my father was my main musical influence, and he was one thing he loved to do is we had this thing where we go find new bands.
Cool.
So I still do that. Like I'm still constantly looking for stuff that's new, even if it was old,
Right.
but it's new to me. Like I just got into Humble Pie a few years
I
ago.
love them.
Yeah, but I never heard of
Wow,
Humble
that's
Pie.
crazy, huh?
Nobody my age knows who Humble Pie is. I mean, at least you know what I mean. They know Nickelback and Shinedown and Taylor
Man,
Swift.
you missed some great stuff. Your
Yeah,
dad
don't rub
remembers
it.
that
Don't
stuff.
rub it in.
No, but you really did.
I know.
70 to 75 was the bitching.
To me,
period.
66 to 76. 10 years that if I could have
68
been,
was my favorite.
if I could have been a teenager or young 20s in that, I mean, if I could do it right now, sign a paper, I'd give everything up and go back.
I understand.
But look, I'm reliving it through. Thank
Yeah.
God for these reunion tours and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. Anyway, I introduced my dad to you, and I said, hey. This guy was, you remember? And he's like, oh, yeah, wasn't he Deep Purple? I said, yeah, but I researched it. Thank God for the internet.
Yeah.
I'm like, look at all these albums he had.
Yeah.
And I go to my store,
lot.
J&R Records in New York City. That's
Right
where I get
on.
everything.
Crazy, right?
I go and I buy the CDs. I don't download it. I go and I bought Soul Mover.
Oh, sweet,
And
thank
I
you.
got, this was before Music for the Divine came out.
Right.
So it was when Soul Mover was sort of new.
Right.
And I went, I just bought everything they had and then ordered some imports online.
Uh-huh.
And I fell in love.
Thank you,
I
Paulie.
fell
It
in
means
love.
a
I'm
lot
not-
to me that you're into the solo stuff.
Oh, you have no idea. I like that more than the stuff that I knew. You know what I mean? I mean, I love Burn and those albums, Stormbringer, but the solo stuff to me was what was great about it. What is great about it is that it wasn't just rock.
No.
It was
everything.
yeah, it was like, because I love Michael Jackson. My brother and I love Michael Jackson. And I love Stevie Wonder. And I love Motown. And I love R&B. I love all that stuff. And everything is so, not back then, but now, like in my generation, everything is so it's like categorized,
In
like
a
in a little
box,
box.
always.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, no, you got to sound, it's this. And that's it. And then I would listen to your stuff, so it was very refreshing. And as a vocalist, you got to understand, I was very, that
you.
attracted me.
I have no fear. That's the only advice I can give to any young singers out there, girls and guys, that to have no fear. any instrument you play.
No fear at
No
all?
fear.
Because I have a fear of heights. Is that going to be a problem?
That's okay. The heights
Okay,
is
so
good, but when you're singing on the mic, don't have a fear of the next note.
Okay.
Or if you're a drummer, or a guitar player, or a keyboard player, or a sax player, or a trumpet player, just don't have any fear. You try. Look, we're driven by fear as humans. All of us.
Yes.
We live in fear. And
Everything we do is based on that.
It's fear-based. So, but for me, I never have a fear. I'm not arrogant about it. I just don't have a fear of the next indicated note.
Yeah, but you can't. There is something to be said about just having a natural gift too. I mean, you could say, look, I could play basketball every 12 hours a day, 14 hours a day for 10 years. I'm not going to be Michael Jordan.
No,
so there is a certain thing, like you said, you were given something, and now whether you
freely given.
Yeah.
Didn't have to buy it, and as you know, there are people that play and play and play and take lesson after lesson, and they just can't get it. And
it's that unspoken chemistry.
Everyone in life, it doesn't matter if you're a doctor or a laborer or a candlestick maker, you've got a gift.
Yes, that's what I tell people.
You know what I'm saying? You've got a gift.
But I tell everyone that. I tell that it's like everyone's got something.
Yeah.
The problem is most people never take the chance to realize their gift. They're like, I'm not Derek Jeter.
Along, right?
Yeah, I'm not, A-Rod, Derek Jeter, whatever, or I'm not Michael Jordan, so I'm just going to, I'm meant to work in a factory. That's who I am.
over there.
Yeah, no, not me. I'm saying, hey,
what
well,
can I tell you?
But look, when people come up to me after a show and they'll be like, man, your voice, you guys are so cool, you can sing. And I say, well, guess what? I don't know how to ride a bicycle.
Right.
Well, there you go.
I get it.
For every one thing that I might excel at, there's probably 50 things that I suck at.
Oh, trust me, there's millions of things I can't do.
What do you suck at?
I can't do pretty much anything. I can. You know what I'm good at now?
He couldn't even open the can of Diet Pepsi. I had to open.
And this is going to freak. And don't get me wrong out there, people in
podcast land.
I can barely figure out the jack to what hole it goes in the amp, and I've been so used to having guys that do that for me that now in my studio at home I'm going, well, what the hell's this? And what's that knob for? Or does this need a battery? Or
are you shitting me? Or?
No.
Oh my God! I got to tell you something funny. I don't know if you realized it, but maybe now this makes sense. When Glenn and I first met, he's like, you were so nice. It was like uncharacteristically nice for a rock star. And I'm like, oh, this guy's cool, and he's gonna give me his info. I said, you want to do the podcast, whatever. So how long did it take for you to give me your information? Do you remember? It was like a half an hour. You kept typing it in, and you're like, fuck, I fucked it up again. But I'm like, no, let me do it. No, I got it, Paulie.
Yeah, just call me, then I'll get you.
But then you said, let me email you my info. So you emailed it to me, but I have the freaking AT&T iPhone, so I had no service.
And mine's like, yeah.
Yeah, so I couldn't get it. So we walk outside,
yeah,
and then we're like putting our phones up in the air, and I'm like, Glenn, just say it to me, and I'll type it. No, Paulie, I got it.
I'm challenged by technology.
I couldn't believe
I'm
really,
really challenged by it. But I do like to get my hands in the dirt outside.
Like what?
I like to garden. I like to get me and the dogs like to dig the dirt up and plant flowers. This is going to sound bizarre to rock fans out there, but I just like to do that.
No, it's not. This is the forum for it, because my whole philosophy on this show, and just in general in life, especially now, I've been sort of conditioned, let's say, I'll use that word, conditioned to believe that if you want to be a rock star, let's quote unquote, right? A certain look, an attitude.
It really is, man.
It really is. But here's the thing. Well, you don't interrupt, because you're ruining my point. You see? Hold on, that's not what you're supposed to. You're supposed to say. There's not. No, because I'm saying, because in the day, yes, there was a point where there is, but right now, I don't see the same thing. I see. Like, if you look at the shows that are successful, you look at even this podcast, or YouTube, or things like that, there's people are doing their thing, and they're being who they are. And if you're sincere to who you are...
Oh, God, yeah.
But that's the thing. It's like, so, you garden? That's all. See, I like that. I like knowing that about you. I'd rather talk to you about that. And maybe it's just me.
I love the garden thing.
Let's talk about the days where
I
you're
like to watch
stuff,
things grow in my garden. It's a bit chaunchy gardener, but I like to put my hands in the dirt, plant something, whether it's a rose bush or a fruit tree or a tree or a hedge. There's nothing greater for me than seeing something grow in the garden. Like, nothing greater.
Well, there you go, people.
There's nothing greater for me. I mean, I planted that, and my dogs probably dig most of it up, but
But you see, that goes against everything people would think a rock star is supposed to do, but you do it.
Well,
And to me, that doesn't make you sing any
I
less
wasn't
good.
doing that when I was on crack. By the way.
Why are you ruining my point? I'm trying to change the world for the better. And he's like, yes, but my hit records was when I was on crack.
I don't remember my crack years too much. Although I've got a book coming out this year, so that's going to be a hell of a ride.
Oh my God, that's going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
I was talking to, well, as you were coming in,
Yeah.
Matt was leaving, and
Good
you know
friend,
Matt,
man.
yeah. So he was in the last episode, and one of the things we were talking about for quite a while, he was kind of schooling me on drugs because I've never done
God.
it and I don't know anything. So he's like, yeah, this is what you do, this is how you do it, blah 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 blah. It's such an interesting for someone who's never really gotten into that world. It's very interesting to see someone who's done it and got out of it. Yes, because a lot of people don't.
Well, the skin, baby.
Here's a question. I don't know whether anyone asked you or not, but if you can go back and redo it, would you do it differently?
No.
Okay.
Simple as that. You know why? Because that crazy, almost to the edge of the gates of hell, it's going to sound corny, it's made me who I am today. I've had a life of extreme highs, extreme lows, extreme highs, been broke, been rich, been broke, been rich again. It's like my life has been a fucking insane ride, and it's been colorful. It hasn't been this wavy sort of, generic crap. I've been fortunate. I've had one hell of a ride, I have come back literally from the gates of insanity. The gates, I've actually seen the other side and went, whoa, that close, that close.
What was the height of that, would you say?
Christmas Day, 91.
What? Jesus Christ! 3:45 in the afternoon.
I'd say it was about.
Oh my God!
It was about 6:14 a.m. in the morning.
All right, what happened? Jeez.
No,
I was expecting between 81 and 85.
I'll tell you what happened.
All right, let's hear this.
I had been to Betty Ford in the December. I was making a record with a band called Lynch Mob. George Lynch is a guitar player, and he was making a record with a band called Lynch Mob. And at the time, I was pretty much known as pretty much a coke freak, and nobody wanted to really hire me, and I was out of my mind. I didn't want to work anywhere. I was just like living off my royalties. And my friend Keith Olsen, who'd done Whitesnake and Fleetwood Mac, had me come to his home. He was producing Lynch Mob, and he wanted me to ghost vocal the album for the singer to come in, and he'd be learning the parts what Glenn Hughes would sing. I was just a ghost vocaling for him. And Keith noticed that I was out of shape, overweight, and maybe doing a few too many lines of blow. He'd already gone through treatment, and he said, I need for you to waive your fee. Let's just put your fee into getting you into Betty Ford. But first of all, let's go to Betty Ford and get you an evaluation to see if you're an alcoholic addict. So lo and behold, I passed the test miserably, and they said, you can't come in now because the beds are full for Christmas. Can you come back in January? And like a good old addict like I am, I went back to Atlanta where I was living and bought an ounce of coke and proceeded to smoke crack that came out of my ears, and realized that around 6:14 a.m., like the day after Christmas, that something was definitely wrong. I had a moment of complete divine intervention where I realized, you know something? I think I'm going to die. And I just barely managed to get to hospital before I'd suffered a tremendous amount of the oxygen from my brain I was basically dying, literally dying. I mean, I don't know if Nicky Sixx ever really died on the operating table or not. He's a good friend of mine. I know that it's been reported. I know it's been, but I can honestly tell you I was this close to death. And it was that moment I realized, it's awful. There've been horror stories about me, on the Sabbath tour and this and that, and there've been untrue stories, and a lot of things have been written about me that have been wrong. But what I needed to know was I couldn't deal with the fact of being a complete and utter waste of space any longer. So that morning, around that time I told you, was the moment I had just turned my life around. You've probably heard this story from many people before. It's just a different name this time, but I did it. The best thing I ever did was turn myself in.
And it worked the first time? Because I know sometimes people have to
It's sort of, let me just say this, because it'll come out in my book, that there were a few stumbling blocks. Because I had, 3 months after that, I had a major hit record in Europe, when I told you about. And I went back to do, major press and this and that. It took me a while to get, let's just say, centered. And then when I got centered, it was great.
When was that, would you say? What time? What day? What year?
Oh, I would say
What room were you in? You know, what were you eating?
I was in Dallas, Texas.
Oh, jeez. How did
I think it was somewhere circa July 19th, 1994.
Oh, jeez.
No, I just think it was. I just think it was the matter of fact that when you've been sober and clean for a few years, you sort of cross this line where you go, I kind of like this. I'm not puking at myself anymore. I've lost some weight. I look pretty good. I'm actually writing better songs and I can sing better. And I went somewhere in the mid-90s. I sort of really got serious about sobriety and about teaching other people or helping other people with my disease.
Have you been able to help other people?
I hope so. I can't name who they are, but
But just your influence.
I've definitely worked with people in the music industry. I just think it's a gift. Being sober and clean is something. It's a great message for me, because for me, being a drug addict was not attractive. Let's just say they're out now, right in the music industry. There's a couple of well-known drug addicts that are still kicking and doing well, but I wouldn't want to trade lives with those people. I just, for me, drugs and alcohol aren't attractive.
What? I mean, maybe it's probably just the cliche stuff, but what got you into it in the first place? Was it before the music industry or because of the music industry?
When I joined Purple, they were, for all intents and purposes, the #1 band on the planet. Sold more records in '73 than anybody else. No more #1s, and they were a stadium band, and I joined the band at that period, you know, and it was like a massive period for them. And I was in a band called Trapeze, and I was offered cocaine and all kinds of pills prior to that in '72, '70, and I just ignored them because I was frightened of drugs. But when you're in a band of that, when you join a massive band like Deep Purple or The Who or the Stones or something, you have this contingent of dark auras around you. People wanting to give, and remember, there's nothing free in this world. People wanted to give me this, give me that, give me that. And along came this, you know, you got to be hip, slick and cool. You know, it's okay back in those days to do lines of coke with the president of Warner, or it was kind of like cocaine wasn't addictive in the '70s. It was kind of cool. It was, hey man,
it's like Splenda now.
It's not addictive. We can do it even in the offices and the boardrooms. People are doing it.
They didn't know, right?
But what I didn't realize was I was becoming addicted, and I thought I can stop when I'm 30. And that became I can stop when I'm 40, and I stopped when I was 40, but I was forced into it because I was going to die.
That's insane. I mean, I thank God every day that I didn't ever really get into it anyway, and I try my best. I really do.
It's not attractive to me.
It's not. I don't like it. I get it. I get why people maybe go into it, and we were talking about this. Matt and I were talking about this, like why people start getting into it in the first place. But
they're born into it, Paulie. You're born alcoholic or addicted.
You think so?
Absolutely. It's in the genes and the wiring of who you are. It could skip a generation, your granddad or your grandma or whatever. All I know is that my mom and dad are totally not alcoholic. Look.
Well, you tell me, hold on. If you, let's say, Deep Purple never offered you a thing, you know, the gig, and Medusa kind of, like, you know what, I want to.
I've asked myself this question
really?
a million times.
And you know what, I want to have an office job. I'm going to wear a suit, blah, blah, blah.
A million times.
So you think it's more of
This is a very, very wild question, because if I hadn't have had all that money and fame, would I have found cocaine?
Right.
I don't know.
Would you have sorted out?
I don't know. I didn't drink alcoholically. I never went to a bar and ordered a pint of beer in Britain. I only drank when I had the devil's dandruff inside of me.
But that's my point. That's what. So what?
You know.
Hold on. Can I write? Did you write that as a song?
We can write it now.
Can we write a Devil's Dandruff?
And, you know, Oblivion marching powder and all that stuff.
See, but that's the thing. I can't come up with a line called the Devil's Dandruff.
Yes, well,
because I don't freaking do that stuff.
And of course,
that's it. Alex, go get me cocaine right now.
Yeah.
I need a hit song, and as soon as I get my hit, I'm done. That's it. I'm done. I'm
You
stopping.
know that Pat Travers once said to Pat Thrall, snorting whiskey, drinking cocaine, it was in a drunken stupor, that he mixed it up.
Right.
And actually became a great song title.
Well, what's John Popper told me, maybe he'll yell at me for saying this, but he told me at dinner one time. Do you know John Popper?
Yes.
From Blues Traveler? And he is, you know, probably considered one of the greatest harp players.
Absolutely,
right?
wonderful.
Well, he told me, he goes, I'm not saying to do it, but I would have been a really good harp player if I didn't do LSD.
Oh, wow.
I was a great harp player because I did it. You know, and I'm pretty sure he's probably good now, but back in the day, you know, he was doing whatever he was doing. And sometimes, and this is why I'm asking you, because you're on both sides of it. Sometimes I wonder, what kind of artist would I or could I have been, or could I still be, had I delved into that? And then I say, I don't think it's worth it.
No, man. People say to me pretty regularly now, they say, my God, and this is what they say, not what I say, you sing better now than you did in Purple or Trapeze. Well, not so much Trapeze, but I say, well, it's very simple. I'm not on crack. I've not puked down my front. I'm not in jail. You know, it's like, how could someone possibly be at their peak in the music industry when they're completely whacked out of their brains on fucking drugs?
But
you
how are they so?
I've had this conversation
but how are they
with
so
Eddie Van Halen.
successful? Let's say, forget the technical ability.
I know, it's
the
crazy.
bands that my idols growing up, and then I find, and they're all drugged out or.
Could Keith Richards come up with that amazing guitar lines?
Would Guns N' Roses have written that album?
I don't want to.
Would Appetite for Destruction exist if those guys were
This
clean?
is dangerous territory for me because I'm sober. I don't want to glamorize drug addiction and Jack Daniels, but some of that shit came out of that.
Right.
Didn't it? I mean, I wrote some great shit on
drugs. A lot of
drugs.
it did.
I don't want to glamorize drugs and alcohol. Look, if people are listening to this, like, I'm not saying don't drink or do drugs because I don't want to be like this party pooper. It doesn't work for me because when I do one line, I will be out there until I pass out a week later. Or I will drink your granny's drink while she's in the bathroom. It's not safe to be around me. When
that's me at an all-you-can-eat, by the way. That's going to be me. I'm going to be.
You know,
I need a Betty Ford for food because I understand that. It's like I can't just.
I don't know one of anything.
You know what I mean?
I don't know one pair of shoes. No, I want to buy two. I don't do ones. I like to do multiples of everything.
Right.
So I switched gear when I got clean and sober. I went completely, like, I was 230 pounds and I got sober.
Really?
I was not well. I was drinking a case of beer a day. I was doing all kinds of drugs. I never left my home for 2 years in Laurel Canyon. I just pinked up. I never did anything. I was completely bearded up, a tooth missing at the front. I was the guy. Remember the movie Boogie Nights? The guy at the end with the robe on. I was that fucking guy. I was that guy.
Oh my God!
But his assistant was my girlfriend. I had a girlfriend that was. And Christine was a great gal, but she was a hostage for me. All the girls I ever met before I got sober were hostages. And people out there will know what I'm talking about. They're alcoholic and addicts. Everybody I used to hang with, if you didn't do crack, you weren't cool. If you didn't throw up in my living room, something was wrong. Or if you didn't, offer my cats or dogs fucking LSD, something was wrong. I only wanted to hang out with you if you were fucking weird.
Right. But that's my point. You're almost making my point because I chose from very early on, and I still continue to this day to choose to hang around good people. People I consider good people, and I feel like that has sort of helped define my character. Do you? I know it's almost an impossible question, but like, if you were hanging out with people who weren't like that and who were like, or I don't want to say not that those people weren't intelligent, but people that were more doing on the right track, on a better track. Do you feel that it's in your genes that you would have found it anyway, or that you could have?
I believe, and it's a bit cliche, that there are no mistakes in this world. There are zero mistakes in who we are and where we are right now at this moment, or where we were yesterday. We won't know about tomorrow. I know that I would never have met my wife if I'd have been on crack. I know it sounds stupid.
If you had or
I had not. I mean, if I had have been on crack, or the people I associate with now would have nothing to do. This isn't about me pleasing people to make me look good. It's none of my business what you or anyone thinks of me. My business is God's business and the way I live my life right now. I'm married to a great gal. I have a great relationship. I have great comrades. I have great business partners. I couldn't have any of that whilst I was abusing myself. I don't know how I survived it. We've heard many stories of rock stars and movie stars that have, or regular people that have gone to the brink and pulled themselves away from it. You don't even know what I've been through, but there's a lot of stories about me in the music industry about, oh my God, you should have seen Glenn, oh my God, he fell off the stage. That was all true. But the fact of the matter is,
how I thought you would end that.
My biggest achievement, Paulie, and Alex, the biggest achievement for me is actually, it's not about my voice or my talent as a writer. It's the fact I managed to pull myself away from that fucking inferno and go, you know something? It ain't, no. Because a lot of motherfuckers wrote me off in this industry. They wrote me off. He's never going to get sober.
Right.
He's never going to find, his place in the world. He's never going to be, and I haven't done this to please them. I've done this for myself, not to get a wife or not to win an award, or I've done all that. I've got all the marbles in chalk that you can imagine, and that's come through honesty and being sober and clean.
And how have you seen any of these people since then that have wrote you off?
Some people that I used to get high with think I'm a cop, or that I found
that you're a cop.
It's like some people I may eventually. I go to the Rainbow once a year to see the guys, and I love the people at Rainbow Bar and Grill. I run into some people who are green-faced and like, gray-skinned, and people I may have gotten high with in the 80s, and they look 90 now, and they don't either recognize me, or they think I'm FBI. Or they think I'm a Bible thumper, or they think whatever, but it's none of my business. I was Renfield. I was the barking. When I got sober, the week before, I was barking like a dog, neighing like a horse, whinnying like a fucking chimp. I was talking to people. I was actually having a conversation with locusts in the garden.
Oh my God! In the garden, you were gardening even then?
I was absolutely in the
garden. Do you have any people, any friends, dear friends, or maybe semi-close friends that experienced what you experienced with you and got out, and now like you guys are like sober together and can reminisce? Remember those days?
I just had lunch with one today.
Who's that?
Jerry Golden Boy Trimble, retired world champ lightweight kickboxer over the world. I just had lunch with him today. He's now an actor. He's married to Amy Dolenz, Mickey's daughter. We lived together. I actually hired Jerry in this is hilarious, in 88. He was at the time the number one, he was the world champ, to move into my house whilst I was on crack and ecstasy, to get me in shape. So here I've got this guy, very fit, training me, and I was like completely out of my mind. Now we're together again as mates, and I'm completely clean and sober. It's great.
That's awesome.
It's great.
So you look back and you be like, remember those days?
If there's a message of this conversation, it's not like I think a lot of people know my story. A lot of people know I was completely out of my mind, But a lot of us were.
I'm going to be honest with you, okay?
Because you're young, you probably don't remember all that stuff. The 80s were like a bad time for me.
Yeah, see, I was, when I started, like, watching music videos and going to concerts and stuff, this was already, like,
this is before Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses. This is before all of that.
I was in,
I was getting loaded.
I wasn't even in school then.
Yeah.
I don't know that world. I only know it from, from retrospect, watching the movies and hearing interviews and stuff like that, but I wasn't around it,
I was getting high with Timothy Leary
well,
so
it's crazy, right?
Yeah, so I've been. This is like from the late '60s and the '70s. So it's like.
Let me be honest with you. I had I'm not gonna say who, but someone I worked with, who knew you. And when I was like, he knew I was a big fan. I was like, so how's Glenn? I would love to meet Glenn. I can't imagine. He must be so cool. And he goes, he's out of his fucking mind. That's what he told me.
Yeah,
he's out of his mind.
And the thing is, I don't want to promote the fact that the guy I used to be on your show, and the fact of the matter is that it's such a long time ago for me now, and I always seem to feel I have to make like even a podcast amends to the people I may have like thrown up on.
Yeah, right.
So it's like
one of those steps.
Because
I'm sorry for throwing up on you in '79.
If you don't know me, you would never know that I was a complete fuck up in the 80s, So.
But you know what? That's who you were. I don't. And I don't. I mean,
you wouldn't
it's
know
interesting.
It, would you? You wouldn't know it.
No, only from the stuff I hear, stories. And when I met you, I was like, is this really the guy? I mean, this doesn't seem like the guy that I heard about.
Especially in New York, because that was my stomping grounds for like major debauchery.
Really?
Oh yeah.
But not Brooklyn. Why not?
Yes, in Brooklyn.
You say you didn't really go to Brooklyn.
I was out of my mind in Brooklyn one night.
Oh, you just don't. Okay. Have you ever been to Peter Luger's?
No.
In Brooklyn? Do you like steak?
Steakhouse?
Yeah, that's like the best steakhouse in the country.
We gotta go.
I'll take you.
Yeah.
Well, listen, one thing. Well, that's a perfect segue. This podcast, what makes this a little bit different than just a regular podcast, is my awesome hair first. But the second thing is that it's rock and roll and food. Like
I love it.
I like food, and I unfortunately sometimes eat food the way you were doing drugs back then.
I get it.
Like you know what I say? I can't just have one.
I totally get it.
And it's I have to be careful because I'm probably going to wind up fucking myself up for later on. But I
Go
try
ahead,
to
go
balance
ahead.
it out. But the thing is, I love food so much. I'm so
Oh,
and
you
I.
live in the greatest town in the world for food.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, I realize that when I talk to people about it, everyone loves food.
I got
and is
food.
really passionate.
I love
So
food.
what I like to do is on this show is I like to talk rock and roll, but then I like to talk food.
Let's talk food.
I want to know.
Ask me anything you like.
All right. Well, first of all, so you never been to Peter Luger's, right?
No, but I've heard about it.
Okay, so we got to go there.
I'm
one
on New
day.
York friends talk about it.
Anytime you're in New York,
Okay.
you tell
I'll be
me.
there.
I'll take you there. I got a couple coupons.
I'm coming
Don't
in.
worry, we're good.
I'm coming in. And I believe you will.
Yes, I do. I am broke, all right?
Broke it down,
You know
baby.
what? It's funny. I'll tell you just off the 10 real quick. I just want to set the record straight. When our TV show came out, everybody, all my friends and everyone I ever went to school, anybody, every time I would talk to them, as soon as they saw me on TV, oh, where you call me from your yacht? Oh, where you? Oh,
Yeah.
And they don't realize, and I'm like, dude, it doesn't. Celebrity and
Fame, right,
wealth,
wealth, yeah.
it does not always
No,
go hand in
no,
hand.
no. Mhm.
But anyway, that's off the subject. So Peter Luger's is the best steakhouse in the country.
I don't eat meat, but
Well, then,
but
did you ever eat meat?
Oh, like a pig.
Okay. So
Let's
what
talk-
do you eat
Let's
fish?
talk pig.
Do you eat fish?
Majors. Chilean sea bass is my favorite.
Oh, oh,
Are we on? So, no, see,
Oh!
see,
Oh!
see.
That's-
Talk about food over here.
dude! I just got a boner. Dude, Chilean sea bass.
Yes.
I just got introduced to like a few years ago. Like
Isn't
I
it
was.
insane?
It is so insane.
Yeah.
But like as a kid,
I'm
I mean,
a protein freak.
and as a kid, I knew hamburgers, spaghetti, meatballs. You know what I mean? Like,
Come on over here.
yeah. Well, I mean, but look, we didn't have a lot of money, so it was like whatever was cheap and stuff. And as I got older and more, and as I'm going out now, discovering this stuff, and it's
Insane,
amazing,
isn't it?
Insane. Chilean sea
Insane.
bass.
I had it
love
the
sea
night I
bass.
met you, by the way. At
Where?
Morton's.
Where'd you go?
Morton's.
Oh, you went to Morton's. I went to Morton's yesterday for the first time in my life.
Insane. Get the sea bass.
I didn't have. Well, I wanted to stay because it was
Go
my
to
first time.
Mastro's in town here to get in Beverly Hills for the great sea bass.
There's a where is it? Wait. Tell
Mastro's.
Okay, this is
on
the
Cannon
Glenn
Drive
Hughes.
in Beverly Hills.
All right, wait. So we're gonna say it again because now what I do is I like to get a recommendation. So this is the Glenn Hughes recommendation for sea bass.
For any out-of-towners that come into
Okay.
Los Angeles, in Beverly Hills on Cannon Drive, Mastro's
Mastro's.
Steakhouse. I recommend the Chilean sea bass.
Oh, with
My
what?
God,
A side of
you-
what?
Sauteed
go
spinach, maybe.
Sauteed
and some
spinach,
corn.
garlic
Yes,
and oil.
Of course, yeah. Yes,
I love
well,
sauteed
yeah.
anything. I think everything should be sauteed. I think I
Me
want to
too.
saute my cereal.
Yeah.
Everything.
See, what you need to know, I had a food thing too, because, I am, when I switched addiction from like, I got sober and clean, then I went to the gym, but then I started to really get into, because when I was on crack, I used to really like the wrong foods. I think it like fat and sugar and stuff and
Right.
starchy stuff, and then, I sort of really went to town with fine dining. So, and my wife's an amazing cook, so. Food for me is I try and eat 4 or 5 small little things a day.
It's the right way to go, but I can't do it. I'm so bad. I don't know. I just, you know what I mean? It's
I
like,
dropped 70 pounds when I got sober.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, what do you said? So you don't? Do you eat chicken and
I
turkey?
eat a lot of protein.
But not red
mainly,
meat, not red meat.
No, never no red
But
meat.
turkey, poultry, and
Yeah,
fish.
it's more fish now than anything. Oatmeal in the morning, straight through, great, keeps me going all morning.
No coffee, right? No caffeine.
I
We talked
do.
about it.
I
you do?
must-
You
I
told me
must
no
admit,
caffeine.
I do.
You told me no caffeine when I asked you.
I don't. I go on these binges, you see, where I'll do no caffeine.
Oh, Glenn, no!
Yeah.
Say it.
No,
ain't
no, what
so.
I'm singing.
That's diet.
Hey, when I'm singing. No,
Yes, that's what I was
no,
asking
no,
you,
no,
yeah.
no. Never. when
That's
I'm
my
singing.
point. Oh, thank God.
I'm not singing right now. So.
Oh, okay. What do you mean you're not singing right now?
Today I'm not singing.
Oh,
This moment.
just today. But what if impromptu I asked you to do a duet with me
Well,
right now?
come over here now.
Well, but then you. See, how do you know? You never know when you're not going to be
You
singing.
never know.
I try my best to stay away from that stuff.
I'm kind of addicted to caffeine, if I can be addicted to anything. I'm not going to tell you that I need it every day, because when I'm on the road, I don't drink it.
And you don't find that
It's
because...
it's my one little evil thing that I do.
But do you find when you're on the road, like, because you're so used to having the
I
caffeine...
can't.
does it
And the reason
affect
I don't vocally, because it makes me pee quite a lot. So in the night, when I'm on the road, I've got to get 8 hours every night in order to get the lungs.
Can you
going.
call my brother and tell him that? Because when
Yeah.
I tell him I need to sleep, he says, "Oh, that's bullshit. Sleep's a waste of time."
If
doesn't
you're
get
if
it.
you're a singer, you have to. If
doesn't
you're
get
on the
it.
road, because I've got quite a bit of a range going on with
It's
my
a
voice.
physical... Yeah, see, I'm in the same That's my range at upper.
If you don't sleep on the road, you will not sing. I don't care who you are.
Can we get Dave on the phone? No, right?
You
We're
will
not set
not
up for that. Jeez. All right, no. After this, I'm gonna have you.
Yeah.
Is that okay? After this
Please.
podcast, can I
I
just call my
insist.
brother and I'm gonna say, Dave, Glenn Hughes wants to say something to
Yeah.
you. Say, let your brother sleep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you know.
They give me a hard time. They don't understand. It's a muscle.
The most important advice I can give to young singers out there, or old singers, I don't care. Sleep, 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 sleep.
Yes. Thank you.
Whereas I used to
Thank
be
you.
party, party, party.
Right.
Sleep.
No.
No voice.
I'm sleep, sleep, sleep,
You
sleep. A
know?
little party.
You know.
Because my voice is everything. If I
Yeah,
lose
of
that, I'm
course.
done. My voice and my hair. But,
Yeah.
you know.
I'm over here.
I'm over here
The
now.
hair's very important.
Sleep, sleep, sleep. That's my new ringtone.
You
When
realize
you call me,
you
it's gonna be
realize
like
today
sleep, sleep.
you've had like in one room, yourself included, Matt Sorum and Glenn Hughes, three of the biggest hair freaks in rock and roll.
Let me ask you a question. Do you, and be honest.
And Dave
be
Navarro
honest.
loves his hair too. by
Yes,
the way.
be
Let's
honest.
Be clear about Dave
Do
Navarro.
you fix your hair a lot in reflection? Like if you walk by a car and it reflects, you fix your hair? Or is it just me? I'm really bad.
You know something?
Come on, be honest.
Two
You
thumbs
do.
up.
How many times a day do you fix?
He's worse than me,
How
my
many
buddy.
times a day do you look at yourself in a reflection? Be honest.
Not facially or from the ass or the ankles, but I'm going hair.
No, you know what I'm saying. Like right now. Do you see the reflection in that microwave?
Yeah, you see yourself. I don't see myself.
No, I don't see myself. But if I could see myself, I'd be fixing my hair.
Not as bad as it was.
Okay, but I'm not. It's not just me. I'm saying.
It all depends what kind of hairstyle I'm fronting. I think this
Well,
is.
what
an
do you call
important
this? What do you call
This
this?
is called the G cut.
The G cut. Why is
Yes.
it the G cut?
Tony and Guy do my hair, and we've come up with the G cut. It's like it's a hairstyle that suits me.
But it's a very. I actually love the hair. Let's see if I can describe it for the listeners. It's kind of got.
I have wavy hair like you, not so curly.
No, yours is not curly though. But you got to. It's like okay, so it sort of comes to the middle. It's pointy in the middle.
Yeah.
But then it has like. Almost like a crown, like there are hairs that are independent around it, so they're decorating the point in the middle, and it's a little long. What I like is that long sideburn thing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Very Brit, isn't it? You
Yeah.
know what it is? It's sort of like late 60s.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And here's the deal with hair, people. Rock and roll people out there. I'm a little older now than I used to be. I used to sport very long hair back in the old 70s.
very long hair.
I had the
and
mane.
white jumpsuits.
Now, David
Yeah,
Lee told me
white-
he molded his image after me back in those periods before Van Halen.
Right.
That whole cowl gown with the long hair. I think a lot of people got inspired by my hairdo and my suit.
Right, the suit. Do you still have that suit?
I do not.
Oh.
The Hard Rock wanted to buy it for $100,000.
And they have it?
I can't find the fucker.
What?
It's
You don't even know where the suit is?
It's in a storage shed somewhere in the British Isles.
Oh my God, the suit. But anyway, the hair
is very important. But one
Yes.
thing, now, no disrespect to any other rock stars out there, but I think a man of around 50 with long hair, no, I'm not buying it. It's kind of, no. It doesn't work for me.
Is it just because women do that too? You ever notice
I
like
just
all
think
my
it
my
ages
mother
someone.
and her friends and all the my grandma and her friends and everyone at a certain point it's all short.
He's the
It's all
two
what is the
guys.
deal with that?
He's the two guys he works for. Two of my friends. The only two guys that I think long hair looks decent on is Steven Tyler and Ozzy Osbourne.
Ozzy, yes. I can't even imagine Ozzy with short hair.
I know Tyler.
Steven, I can imagine. I think Steven would look good with your cut. I have to say, because his facial features.
I can't think
are
of
so
anybody
prominent.
else in their 50s or 60s.
Well, Coverdale looks good.
Oh,
He's
you know,
got
he's
long
got great hair.
He looks good. I think. Huh?
Fabio.
Did you just say
Yeah,
Fabio?
well, I'm definitely not over there now.
All right, Alex, you're fired.
But you know, let's talk about hair because
Yeah.
it's very
Oh,
important.
I can talk about hair.
You talked about
I can talk about-
looking and feeling like a rock star to
Yeah.
become a rock star.
Yeah.
Let me just say this: that I'm sort of rocking out more now, clothes-wise, than I was maybe 2 years ago.
Why?
It's not like because I think. Check it out. About 6 months ago, I realized that okay. People call me the voice of rock or what have you. In Japan, it's the god of voice, and God forbid in Germany, it's the voice of God. Those
I
Germans,
just have to throw that in there.
those Germans, those nasty little buggers. So the fact is that I'm making a rock album right now. It's supposed to be Jason Bonham and Joe Bonamassa from my new band Black Country, and I'm
Yes,
thinking,
which we will get to.
I'm thinking, I gotta, in order to play rock music, and people have got to understand this. You gotta kind of think rock and look rock, smell rock and be rock.
Yeah.
So I'm living right now. I'm sort of living the rock thing. I'm actually.
What does that mean? I mean, because you're
I'm in the
gardening. Garden is not
I've got the
rocking.
shears out, right? And I've got the
Yeah.
dogs around me and the old
That's not
ladies
rock.
behind me and we're cursing in the flowers.
Right.
But I'm going to sort of, how can I tell you this, guys, without being silly? I'm sort of being paraded around town again. I've got this new thing going and you know, rock and roll is really how you look and feel.
Yeah.
It really is. It really fucking is.
It is. You're right.
So I'm sort of like, you know something? I'm going to rock again. I'm going to rock. In order to rock, I've got to be rock.
You gotta You gotta
You know,
look it,
and,
feel it, think
you
it.
know, and my manager, who manages a rock guy, even in his house, wears his bell bottoms, his boots, and his turquoise jewelry.
Really?
Even he doesn't wear sweatpants and pajamas. Even wears behind closed doors. I've been around him a lot lately. I'm going, God damn, this is rock and roll.
This is really.
I can't imagine. Can you imagine Keith
No.
Richards in fucking sweatpants?
You're
Come
right,
on.
you're right.
Can you get a fucking visual?
Right.
Even when he fell out of the fucking
Or like
tree.
going to the beach. Like
When he
going to
fell
the
out of
beach.
that tree, he was wearing
leather
leather
pants,
pants. Right?
I can't imagine anybody I grew up, any of the legendary rock stars. I can't imagine them at the beach.
No.
Or you know what I mean? Or wearing shorts, khaki shorts and sandals.
Even Iommi. Now, I've done a
Yeah.
lot of work with Iommi. Iommi's one of my best friends. I've been around Tony's house in the mornings. I've been privy to a lot of secret shit with Iommi. I've never seen him wear grey. I've never seen him wear anything but black. Even black fucking slippers.
Really?
You know, black socks.
So he just
Black, even when he broke his arm, black sling.
a black string,
You know?
black band-aids.
Black Band-Aids.
Black band. Wow.
Tony,
All right, so are you doing that now? So like, do you
Black-
feel? No, just in general. Are you sort of taking it to that level?
you
Because I've
won't-
thought about this all the
You
time
won't be
too.
seeing me
In jogging pants.
advance in anything but rock star.
Yes. Nice.
There's a kind of like twist to that, because if you know me really well, that you know that most of my adult life I've shunned the rock star attitude. I've tried to have the persona of, when I'm working, people want their rock stars to be rock. They
Yeah.
want them to have the bling on and the chains. We want our rock stars to rock. But I was anti-rock for a while. Not sort of rock, but I was anti-rock star thing.
Right.
I thought it was
Well, we were
integral
talking
for me
about
as a
before.
human being to become a better person. But I'm actually becoming the rock guy again and actually having fun with it. And it's not even tongue-in-cheek. I'm actually loving it.
Well, it's an interesting thing because, again, I'm in it now. You're coming from it from a different. You've already set yourself up. You are Glenn Hughes.
People remind
So you
me of
can-
that. My wife reminds me, you know,
You got
you're
on
Glenn Hughes.
Yeah, you have to know that. So you can go and you can say, okay, I'm gonna do rock now. But no, you know, I'm in that process. I'm at that place where it's like, not everyone knows yet.
Mm-hmm.
Some know. So I got to be very careful how I put myself out there. Am I rock all the time? Or am I rock, but I'm also this? Is that okay? Is that not okay? And I'll be honest with you, I don't fucking know. Because there are multiple sides. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so do you show it? Do you not show it?
You gotta show it. I gotta, in order for me to, and this isn't about a persona of who I am off stage. It's that I'm making a rock album with a rock band, and it's like almost getting into a part in a movie. I come from rock. I'm known as a rock singer and a rock star
Right.
from that period. And I'm really enjoying my rock thing again.
Well, let's talk about this because people might not know what the hell we're even talking about. All right, so when you have started
I'm
a group,
anti-establishment. You know, I'm a bit of a rebel. You know, I want you to know that. I'm not one of these guys that goes, oh, look at that grey car over the road, and it's kind of like chartreuse. I'm not one to fight with you about, you know, what's going on in the world, or I'm really not a confrontational guy, but I'm sort of the
cliche,
you know,
or-
rock stars to me, or jazz guys, or hip hop guys, you know, they're either super talented or they're not. And there's some people that are out there that are not talented or are super, super famous because they're in the right place at the wrong time. And I think the songs and the music are so important. And I've made records. I made a Christmas album in the summer. I've made Soul Mover in a studio in the valley in 120 degrees wearing like a bathing suit when I may have sang Soul Mover in like a pair of wingtip shoes. You know what I'm trying to say?
Really?
I may have made some
Right,
great
but I don't
statements.
see that. When I listen to
You know
Soul
what I'm
Mover,
saying?
that's not what I see.
But when I go to the studio now, or where I, you know, when I do things, I really do believe in suiting up and showing up.
But even behind closed doors, you mean? That's the question. Because
God.
I do. When I go on stage, I've made this rule. I will never go on stage with sneakers. I'll never go on stage with shorts. I'll never, you know what I mean? And the guys sometimes make fun of me too, because I always say I have to get into character.
You gotta get into
costume.
character.
But when you're home, are you still wearing the bling bling? Are you still wearing, you know what I'm saying?
No, you know, God, I can't lie to you. There's one
Don't
thing about
lie
me,
to
I
me.
won't lie to you.
Don't lie to
when
me.
I'm at home with my wife and my dogs and cats.
What are you wearing? I want to know.
You really want to know the truth?
I want to know the truth.
And
Come on.
I'm going to tell you, and Steve will
I'm
tell you.
building my career here.
I'm wearing a fucking robe and my pajamas and my silk fucking...
Thank you, but that's what I'm wearing. So
You know-
so there's hope for me yet.
I'm wearing it
You're not wearing
all
leather.
the time.
You're not wearing leather while
I'm
you're watching
wearing
TV.
fine kimonos and silk pajamas and very fine house slippers and my garden slippers.
Slippers. There you go.
Almost the smoking jacket
Yeah.
routine.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. And if anybody out
I
there
don't
thinks
think rock
it is,
stars.
that's it.
I don't think classic rock stars from my generation, people that were very famous in the 70s, should ever be seen wearing shorts.
Those guys.
No.
But that's
You'll
those
never
guys.
see fucking Robert Plant wearing a pair
Never.
of, or Paul Rogers, or well, David Coverdale, for instance. No, can you imagine fucking Roger Daltrey in a pair of fucking shorts? Can you imagine it?
Or pajamas.
Can you? Well, yeah.
pajamas. I can't imagine Richie Blackmore
Check
wearing
this
pajamas.
out. Now, I've seen Jimmy Page wearing some strange outfits
Right.
recently. I've been with him, but I've never seen, you know something? I did see Jimmy wearing a pair of shorts 5 years ago.
Did you really? Oh, how did you not take a picture of that?
And he was...
But Jimmy Page is different because he'll come up in khakis. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's different. He didn't really buy into that later in his life. He's just like, I'll go up in a baggy
But
t-shirt and khaki.
you know where this is going,
but
this
I'm
conversation.
asking now, though. I mean, you're still in it. You know what I mean? You're still... You came from back then, but
See,
you
I'm
are
not
still
trying
in
to
it.
be a rock star.
You're still in it.
I've been there and done it. And the fact is now...
But what's your advice? I'm saying for someone like me or anyone who's listening out there who's like trying, that's what they want to be. They want to be a successful rock musician.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say it's the same thing? It's like you got to do that? Or would you say, now that with the environment we're in, you say, well, it's a whole different world. You can, you know, well, I mean, what do you think? Because
It's like I said half an hour ago, 20 minutes ago. Fans, regular people, want their rock stars to look like rock stars. Now I'm really, all these years later, looking at the metal fans, who wear the, you know, the denims and the, I'm looking at their, you know, culture. I'm looking at everybody's, the hip-hop culture. I'm looking at, and that's what it is. It's about how you look and how you can I mean, I've sung rock anthems in gym shorts.
but not in front of public.
Never.
Right. But that's what I'm asking. I'm saying,
Look, bro.
I'm saying, are you
never,
just, is it
you
just
will
as
never,
good?
the day you see me in a muumuu or fucking Crocs on stage, or, you know, is over, baby. You will never see it. It's
Yeah.
never going to happen.
Well, that's what
Remember, I'm a Brit, and Brits,
It's
I'm a
different,
bit
yeah.
of a, I'm a bit of a fashion snob too, my darling. So I'm not going to go out looking like that.
Yes, and he still has his glasses indoors. See, I never wear glasses
Always.
indoors. See, how do you do that? I can't see.
I
Well,
can't
those-
see without them.
You can't see without them.
No, I'm blind as a bat.
Well, there you go. Oh, those are real glasses.
They
Those
are.
like prescription.
I lost
See,
my
they look
eyesight
great.
at 40.
They look great, though.
Thank you. Thank
So-
you, my love.
Well, listen. I want to make sure because we're probably almost out of time, I think. But we have not yet talked about this major
Black
supergroup
Country.
that you're putting together. Yeah. So tell everybody.
A year ago, this month.
Oh, we're out of time. All right. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
You're getting the exclusive because nobody knows about
I
the band.
know. I'm just.
A year ago this month, Joe Bonamassa and I met. We done a session, not on the same day, same song, and he mentioned to the producer, Glenn, I love Glenn. I'd love to maybe hook up with him. I got a call from the producer who hooked Joe and I up, and I went to Joe's studio in North Hollywood. And we wrote, and we had a couple of sessions, and we came to an idea that we would eventually do something together. So, flash forward to November of last year, Joe invited me to sing with him in LA at the House of Blues a couple of songs with Joe Loves Medusa by Trapeze and Mistreated by Purple. He said, let's get together with my band and come and guest on these two songs. At that time, Kevin Shirley was in the audience and Joe's manager, and it was very obvious at that moment on stage that something was going to happen. The next day, I got a call from Kevin, the same evening, that we're going to put a band together around Joe and I. And Kevin had strong ideas of who should be in the band, and he should be Jason Bonham and Derek Sherinian. So we kept it quiet all the way through the holidays, and we kept it quiet. We went in the studio first week of January, and we recorded 6 songs. And we knew going into it in the first song that we have something extremely special. This is very, very, very special rock music. And you know, it's going to be coming in September. We're making the album in March and April.
It's called Black Mountain, right?
It's called Black Country.
Oh, Black Country.
Black Country is a part of England where
Not bad.
Bonham and Plantin Hughes, both Bonhams were born in Plantin Hughes. It's, let's just say the Black Sabbath were born there and half of Led Zeppelin. It's the Black Country part of England where, let's just say that rock music, British hard rock music was born. So we've called it Black Country because half the band were from there.
Right.
And Joe has an album coming in March called Black Rock, so it sort of ties in, and it's a great name for a band. And let me tell you, for every rock fan out there, this is a great, great, great band.
I can't wait.
If I wasn't singing in it and somebody else was singing, I'd go, that's great.
Are you going to include black Band-Aids in the packaging?
It's a good thing.
I said, why not?
Okay, let's copyright that.
That's me and you right there.
Yeah.
I want 50% of it.
No, it's a beautiful thing, man. I can't
So
wait.
You have 6 songs, right? 6 songs,
we got
and you're going to do another
we got
6?
Joe does his solos live, and Derek does his solos live. I sang some stuff live. It's not going to be an overdub album. It's going to be a few things overdubbed. We're going to have a few strings on there, proper strings. It's going to be a classic rock, modern classic rock album. It's and let's be clear, this is a rock band.
Right, because people, you know, Joe Bonamassa is known as a blues
Joe
artist.
Bonamassa is going to freak every rock fan out in the universe.
Because I know he can do it. I know Joe.
You know Joe Bonamassa.
Yeah, I know Joe, and I've been to a couple of like his rehearsals and stuff. I know he can do it. He just does blues.
Joe wants to rock. Joe wants to be in a rock band. I want to.
Everybody wants to be in a rock
and you know
band. Let's
something?
face it.
I want to play rock music again, but I wouldn't play rock music again unless I had the right people around me.
But you've been doing pretty. I mean, with the last few albums, you've had Navarro, Chad Smith, you've had Matt Storm. Yeah, I mean, so you've been rocking.
I've been rocking, but if I was going to be in a band again, it had to be key guys like these.
Right.
It had to be, you know.
Meaning not the Glenn Hughes.
No, you know, I like I said, in October I had this dream where I wanted to make rock music again. This is before we formed Black Country. So I was going to make a rock thing again anyway.
Okay.
I was going to make a U-turn and sort of make rock music again anyway. So, but it's now going to be, the first album that's going to be out is Black Country, so.
And September, right?
September.
Do you have any, before we go, do you have any websites or anything else that you want to plug?
If you go to glenhughes.com, all the info is there.
Do you spell Hughes different than Hughes?
No, I spell it like, you know, H-G-H-E-S.
It's so British.
I hope so.
And that's it? Just glenhughes.com?
Yeah, go to glenhughes.com and all my info is there, you know, the Twitter stuff and the Facebook and the MySpace.
What about for Black Country? Is there anything up yet?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I'll tell you what, because blackcountry.com is available April the 1st and we're going to get it.
Okay. So then people look for that in April.
Yeah.
And I would love to, hopefully I'll have you on again. And actually I was trying to get, Jason was going to call in. It's just the schedule didn't work out, but we're going to try to get Jay in. And yeah, I know that Alex, my producer extraordinaire, thinks that at this point I still don't know how to run my own show.
You forgot last episode.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I did?
Yeah.
What happened?
Good Shane.
Really?
Yeah, he forgot his own ID.
Oh, all right. So then we'll pop that in there.
Take it back.
Okay, I take it back. He's smart. I'm dumb. All right. He wants me to plug. I got to remember to plug my own stuff. Hold on.
Yeah.
So the website is thepaulieZshow.com. You can go to iTunes and you can subscribe to it. Just type in The Paulie Z Show. And Twitter, if you want to follow my shenanigans and all the stuff I've been doing, go to Twitter /ZO2Paulie. And if you want to email me the fan mail and let us know what you think, it's Yo Paulie. Yeah,
I'm liking it.
Like Yo Paulie at thePaulieZShow.com. Just before we go, 30 seconds real quick, I just want to tell you something I'm very proud of. I got to sing the national anthem at a professional hockey game.
Stop it.
For the first time in my life. Yeah, it was the most amazing thing in the world. And you know, I just wanted to tell another.
Man.
I wanted to tell another.
I love that. Good for you. I'm proud of you.
Thank you so much. So, and it came out pretty good too. I was shaking, my knees were shaking. I was a little nervous.
I get
but, it came out good, and I was.
get it.
So I just want to tell everyone out there. So go check
Yeah.
that out online. Paulie
yeah.
Z sings national anthem. It's actually pretty cool. And Glenn, thank you,
Honey,
thank
Paulie,
you, thank you,
you're a
thank you.
good man.
for coming
Alex,
in.
thank you so much.
Everybody, Glenn Hughes. Glenn Hughes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So that's it. Episode 13 and part 3 of 3 from the LA Paulie Z Show. And I'm living it up in this gorgeous weather. And then back to the freezing cold in Brooklyn.
Woo-hoo.
All right. So that's Paulie Z saying later.
She's in love with the